Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, and that's Connor.
Hey.
And let's talk about Supergirl, Season 1, Episode... Now this is going to get a little bit confusing, let me explain. Episode 4, even though Episode 5 was last week, but that's because they switched the episodes, because this episode had some terrorist-type themes, which didn't go well after the Paris attacks, just sort of weekend past there, so... this is actually episode 4, and there's a couple of things that'll make it obvious that it's actually set before the last one. But this is episode 4, and it's called How Does She Do It? Yes. And the description that IMDb's given us is Kara must protect National City from a series of bombings and babysit Kat's son, while James is visited by Lucy Lane. Now, the Lucy Lane part's the one that really gives it away, because last week... Kara already knew Lucy Lane, as if they'd already spoken to each other.
I think she got introduced at the end of 3, but then
No, she didn't really get introduced until...
She did. I'm sure Jimmy said, "Oh, this is Lucy Lane," and she's like, "Oh, Lois' sister."
Yeah.
But then she left the room and listened in on their conversation with a superheroine, where she was saying how they were broke, and that was where she got the context that they were broken up. Or whatever.
Right, that was the end of 3. Yeah.
And then in episode 5, they were all together and chummy.
Yeah, you could tell
it was weird.
There was time had passed. You could tell there was something in between we hadn't quite got. And it does kind of ruin... Well, it's not exactly the most riveting plot anyway, but this episode it's all about... Well, not all about, but Jimmy and Lucy are like, we probably won't get back together because blah, 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 things ended badly, I'm leaving.
We've already seen that.
We already know they're getting back together because they're together in episode 5. Whatever, that's fine. That was probably the weakest part of the episode for me anyway, was their wildy-wonty nonsense. Didn't really much care for that. What I did care for was the superheroics and the sort of the main plot of the episode. I enjoyed all the superpower stuff in this one.
I'd go as far as to say this was my favourite episode yet. Aside from the Jimmy and Lucy stuff, which, can take it or leave it, really. But the rest of it, pretty solid.
Yeah, I thought both... this week's and next week's from the future that we already seen last week have probably been the most two fun episodes. Last week because of Livewire was a cool villain. This week I just thought all the she's holding up a building, she's landed on top of a speeding train, and
I also found myself laughing quite a bit. For example, when she tells Win to watch the kid, and he's like, you eat cereal, you have toys on your desk, and he's like, they're adult collectibles. He turns around and she's just gone. He's like, yeah, fine, I'll just do it. Why not?
Also, I liked Kara getting kind of I don't know what to call it, an ego boost when the kid clearly has a crush on Supergirl. It's like, oh, you've got a crush on Supergirl? Like, Kara, he's like 12. Back away from the boy. Back away, you creepy bitch.
That was hilarious. She's like, oh, you think she's pretty?
Then Wynn's getting jealous. He's like, do you know what it reminded me of almost? It reminded me of like in Frasier, when Niles got jealous of Fraser's son Frederick having a crush on Daphne.
Yeah.
Because she would play along and he'd get jealous. That was when he came in, was like that. He was like, Niles, like, what you doing, Sonny Jim? Supergirl's mine. Thank you very much.
I thought there was a lot of fun with the kid, actually. Like, even at the end, where with his mum Kat, and she was like, oh yeah, what makes her a hero then? He's just like, the legs. Definitely the legs.
Yeah, this was a fun episode actually. I guess we have to talk about the fact that they made. Also, I should have said full spoilers at the start of this. I think I forgot, but
such a disgrace.
It's an episode review. Of course, we're going to talk about everything that happened. Otherwise, what the hell are we going to do?
It's a good point. What are you doing here? If you
yeah,
spoilers.
It's in the description. That's always my cop out. In the description, it says full spoilers. But we do have to talk about how the Maxwell Lord is essentially become Lex Luthor for Supergirl.
Yeah.
And not only is he become Lex Luthor because he's a rich businessman and he's clearly, like, he's loved by the city, but everyone, like, she knows that he's actually bad. This episode reminded me so much of I think it's episode 3 of season 1 of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Because the plot is actually very similar. It's about Lex testing Superman's powers by doing a series of things where he has to like fly around the city and save different people. So at the end of the episode when she shows up, and she's even on a balcony at his office, and he's like, "You were testing me." I'm like, this is fucking that episode of Lois and Clark.
I do feel like this show really, really likes Lois and Clark, and is almost like a remake in its own way.
Yeah, and
It's very similar stylistically, tonally, even plot points like this. It just feels like it's bringing that thing from the 90s to a modern audience and just letting it be relived.
It almost feels like, I mean, this isn't just because Dean Cain is in it, but it almost feels like Lois and Clark is probably the Superman that's closest to whatever they're referencing every week.
Definitely.
All in the fact that they did mention he has a Fortress of Solitude, which Superman and Lois and Clark didn't, but tonally, it feels,
it feels like a spiritual continuation of that show.
Yeah, in a weird way, which is... Oh, I wasn't expecting that, but it's nice. I like that show, so...
Yeah, me too.
I'm down with that. I rewatched that show a year ago, so that's why I'm remembering things probably better than Connor is.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since whenever it aired reruns on the TV.
You were watching it on ITV2 or ITV3 or whatever.
Sounds about right.
Whatever one of those it was on.
Does it still hold up?
Yeah. I mean, if you liked.
If you liked it, then
I'll just see why it would. I mean, it's mid-90s TV, but if you like mid-90s TV, I think you'll be fine with that. What else happened in this one? We got Hank Henshaw did something with the bomb. He has a power or something that let him.
Yeah, there's obviously the name is Cyborg Superman. There's a lot of people throwing around online that maybe he's Martian Manhunter, because obviously Martian Manhunter has red eyes as well. When he's in his human form. I felt it's a bit weird because why give him Hank Henshaw's name other than the obvious misdirect and the fact that if he was Martian Manhunter, surely he would have just gone straight through the bomb rather than actually break it open and put his hand inside.
Yeah. I'm not feeling that. I mean, maybe a little twist and it will be, but then I feel like the only people you're misleading are the ones who know who Hank Henshaw is, which is probably a minority of your audience on CBS.
Definitely.
So, nah, I'm not feeling that theory, but who knows? But no, fun episode.
Yeah.
I don't have much left to say.
I was just say I really like seeing it's a classic Superman thing, but we haven't really got lately of them inspiring people. And like when she was on the train with the kid, and she was like inspiring him to do something and actually help. And I liked seeing that.
Yeah, it was nice. I guess you could maybe say the kid's a bit of an idiot for not realising it's also Kara, but
well, sure, but you could say that about many people in the show.
You could, but yeah, I mean, my only little problems are just little things that you could say about any Superman or Supergirl thing where, like, when she stops the train with having her, like, she's got her feet on the rails, I'm like, well, those are still Earth shoes, they should be just, like, ripping apart, and her bare feet should be the ones doing that, but...
There's some things you just gotta let go.
Yeah, like, I don't care, it's fine. Because, I mean, we've clearly established this is a cheesy, fun, light-hearted show, and not the Batman Begins of Supergirl.
Yeah. That said, I did get a Batman-y vibe when she showed up at Maxwell Lord's, and there's just the big silhouette on the wall, and he just looks up and he sees it, and he's like, "You."
It would have been funny if she went, "I'm Supergirl."
That'd have been great.
Swear to me. All right, guys. I think we're done with this week's episode of Supergirl. Fun episode. Both this week and last week's were good, light-hearted fun. Not without their flaws, but we enjoyed them. So we'll be covering that again next week.